Hi, welcome to the Prumihimo channel. My name is Prumihimo and today I'd like to show you a really great chunky braid made on the square kumihimo plate or disc as some people like to call it. And this is a braid I haven't shown you before, but it's actually one of my favourites because it's got a really nice sort of chunky feel to it and it's very easy to control the tension and get a really nice straight braid. Now, with kumihimo braids made on the square plate, they all share a common sort of pattern. You tend to put most of the cords across the top and bottom and then have a few at the sides. And the moves tend to be top to bottom in different sequences. And then in between those sequences of top to bottom moves, you will have moves from across the plate from one side to the other. So in some braids, you just have one cord crossing over and that will give you quite a thin braid. In some braids, you have two cords crossing over before you do your next sequence of top to bottoms, and that will give you a slightly thicker braid. But this one has three cord crossovers, and so that is what makes it different from other braids and makes it really nice and chunky. These are the braids. I'm going to show you a close-up in a minute, but as you can see, they're quite nice and firm. They have that sort of strap-like or ribbon-like structure that is common with all braids made on the square plate, and you can make them in different thicknesses, different colours. You can do lots of great things with them. So let me show you some close-ups. So now I'd like to show you a close-up of the braids. And these are a variety of different widths. So the thinner ones have been made with 10 cords. The wider ones have been made with 12 cords. And if you look, you'll see that there's a sort of diagonal pattern going across them. So that is how the braid is constructed. That if you put a cord of one colour on the right-hand side, it will gradually work its way across to the left-hand side. Alternatively, if you put one colour all across the top of your plate and the other colour on the bottom, you'll get more of a bar design there. And again, if you look closely at these, you will see that on the straight braid, you have got a slight diagonal ridging, and that again is a feature of the braid. This is the setup. What you need to do is this is a 10 cord braid, and you are going to put 5 of those cords along the top of your plate. You're going to start with slot 3, carry on to 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then on the bottom, you're going to start on 13 and carry on with 14, 15 and 16. And then your final cord, because you've just got 4 on the bottom there, it's going to go on the side here. Now, many plates have different numbers of slots and markings on them, so don't worry about the fact that this is a lowercase e here. That's the slot I've put it in. The slot you want it in is the one that lines up with the top of the rectangular hole on the disc. So this is your starting position. Now, the moves you're going to do, you're going to start off from the right-hand side and you're going to start off from the top. And you can use a weight on this. I'm just going to pull it from underneath because that's easier from a filming point of view. But I would normally have a weight on, a 50-gram weight on there. So what I'm going to do is pick up this top right cord and bring it straight down. It's going from number 7 to number 17. So there's basically a gap there for it. Now I'm going to pick up the next door cord on the bottom and bring it up to the slot I've just vacated. Then I pick up the cord next to that, the one I've just moved, and bring it down to that empty slot on the bottom. Then I pick up the next door cord and bring it up to the empty slot. I pick up the one next door to it and bring it down to the empty slot. and then I pick up the one next door to it, make sure I get the right one, there we go, and bring it up to the empty slot. The one next door to it, and bring it down. And now I bring up the one on the bottom in slot 13 and bring it up to the top. And I stop there. That's very important. I'm not going to bring the next one down. I stop there. So now I have completed those top to bottom moves. The next 3 moves draw the braid together. So the first thing I do is pick up my side cord and bring it down to slot 13. Now I pick up the cord in number 3 and bring it across to the side slot. And now I pick up the cord on the bottom here, right, which is slot 17. I bring it up and move it across to slot number 3 on the top. And my cords are now back in the starting positions with 5 cords along the top from 3 to 7, 4 cords on the bottom from 13 to 16, and 1 cord at the side. Now, I know it can seem confusing, but the great thing about kumihimo is that you need to just get into the rhythm of it, and soon these moves will seem like second nature. So it's all just about practicing them. I'm now going to go through them again, and we're going to explain a little bit more about the tension. So, as before, I'm going to start with my top to bottom moves. Now, these moves control the surface of the braid. So it's important that your movements are as even as possible. And when you first start, they may be a bit jerky because you're learning the moves. But once you get going and get into a rhythm, you need to try to make these moves as even as possible. So I mean, you pull on each cord to the same amount as each other. And that will give you a nice smooth surface to your braid. So let's do those then. So again, I'm starting top right, and I'm just going to do my top to bottom moves. So here we go, and what I've got to remember is that the last one is this one. I'm not going to move that one just yet. So now I've done my top to bottoms. If you find the braid is sort of coming up from there, it's easy, squash it down. Now I'm going to do my 3 moves that go across the braid. And these are the moves that control the width of the braid. So again, they need to be done as evenly as each other to give yourself a nice even braid. So the first one is that side one coming down and across to slot 13. Then it's my top one at number 3 going across and back there to the side slot. And now this is the crucial one. This is the last of the 3 in the sequence. And I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to just pull up. So I just drag the whole braid so it's again level with the top of that slot, that rectangular hole in the middle, and then I move it across to number 3. And that completes my sequence. And so what you will have then, so we turn over, I've done a few more sequences than that in advance, and you'll have a really nice braid, nice even sides, nice even surface to the braid, and a very nice little chunky braid. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you can see that it's a really great braid and one that's worth practicing and playing around with different colour combinations, and seeing what you come up with. The next thing you need to do is learn how to add beads, because that's the other great thing about this braid. Because it's nice and firm and it's nice and chunky, it supports beads really well. So watch out for my next video, which is all about adding beads to this particular braid. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I do have lots more videos to upload, and if you subscribe and turn on notifications, then you're told when I've got a new one ready for viewing. So thanks very much. Bye bye.